state opportunity for the government of Uganda, international labor organization, employers, workers organizations, and civil society, development partners, academia, religious and cultural institutions, the media, communities, parents, guardians, and stakeholders to reflect on the progress made, the challenges that remain, and the collective action required to eliminate child labor in Uganda. Child labor refers to work that deprives children of their childhood, dignity, education, health, safety, and full potential. It includes work that is mentally, physically, social, or morally harmful to children, and work that interferes with their schooling by denying them the opportunity to attend school, forcing them to leave school prematurely, or requiring them to combine school attendance with excessively long, heavy, hazardous, or exploitative work. Child Labor Day is not the same as age-appropriate household responsibility, family guidance, or light work that does not harm a child's health, education, dignity, or development. The concern is work that exploits children, exposes them to danger, keeps them away from school, or uses their vulnerability for economic gain. According to the 2020 ILO and UNICEF report titled Child Labor, Global Estimates, Trends, and the Road Forward, approximately 150 million children globally were engaged in child labor at the start of 2020. Of these, 63 million were girls and 97 million were boys. Nearly half of these children, about 79 million, were involved in hazardous work that endangered their health, safety, and moral development. Child labor remains most prevalent in low and middle income countries and is deeply rooted in poverty, inequality, household vulnerability, limited access to quality education, weak enforcement, family enterprise, informal incomes, economies, and social exclusion. Here in Uganda, child labor continues to manifest in agriculture, domestic work, fishing, mining, informal trade, market work, transport-related activities, street-based activities, and other sectors where children remain vulnerable for exploitation. Government recognizes that child labor is not merely a labor issue. It is a development issue, a justice issue, a protection issue, and a national transformation issue. A child who is kept out of school today becomes an adult whose future opportunities are limited tomorrow. Therefore, ending child labor is central to building a skilled, productive, healthy, and prosperous Uganda. The government of Uganda has put in place legal, policy, and institutional measures to prevent and eliminate child labor. These include strengthening labor inspection systems, enhancing child protection structures, improving coordination among government agencies, and working with development partners and communities to identify and respond to cases of child labor. Labor inspectors have been trained to identify child labor in workplaces and use appropriate tools and checklists for detection, reporting, and referral. These efforts are intended to ensure that child labor is not hidden in farms, homes, shops, workshops, markets, factories, construction sites, or even informal workplaces. Government has also put in place poverty eradication and wealth creation programs such as the Parish Development Model, the Presidential Initiative on Wealth and Job Creation, EMIOGA, the GROW Project, the Empowering Informal Businesses into Formal Growth Program, commonly known as Jiwakali, and the National Apprenticeship Program, among others. These programs are designed to improve household incomes, create productive jobs, strengthen livelihoods, and reduce the poverty pressures that often push children to work. When parents and guardians have reliable incomes, children are more likely to remain in school, access basic needs, and grow in a safe and supportive environment. Therefore, the fight against child labor must go hand in hand with job creation, household income improvement, decent work, education, skills development, and social protection. Key governance structures for addressing child labor have also been strengthened. The National Steering Committee on Elimination of Child Labor and National Technical Coordination Committee on Alliance 8.7 were established to coordinate stakeholder action and provide strategic oversight for eliminating child labor in the country. In addition, the Labor Advisory Board established under the Employment Act continues to advise on labor and employment matters, including conditions of work, wages, labor policy, and the protection of workers. The operationalization of child labor, slavery, and trafficking section, and establishment of dedicated prosecution mechanism within the labor sector demonstrate the government's commitment to enforcement and accountability in this area. However, despite all this progress, the challenge remains extremely serious. Children are still being employed in exploitative conditions. Some are found in the markets, garages, plantations, homes, workshops, streets, and informal business. Others are engaged in hazardous work that exposes them to injury, abuse, long hours, low or no pay, and denial of education. The government therefore warns all employers, intermediaries, guardians, business operators, and individuals who employ, recruit, translate into measurable improvements in the lives of children, workers, families, and enterprises. The ministry will be increasingly be based not only on activities undertaken, but by outcomes achieved. It's the difference between results being recorded or registered, but the outcomes which include the impact that must be reflected. The next time I come here, we should not just talk about this was done, but what's the impact of what was done, and that means is the outcome. And also to make sure that the abuse, the abuse that the safeguards all the actors from abuse, jobs sustained, income improved, enterprise strengthened, and workplaces made safer and more productive. The ministry will continue to strengthen labor inspection and occupational